Hi, my name is John Snape, and I put together this little video to show you a teaser for a programming class that's coming up on Educator.com for Visual C# programming. And what I want to do in this video is just make a quick little web browser and show you how easy it is to make one inside of Visual Studio. Now I'm going to go ahead and open Visual Studio 2010 Professional. Now if you're using the 2010 Express version, that's fine. It will work with this project also. Don't worry about not having the 2010 Professional version. This just happens to be the version I have. Whatever version you have is perfectly fine. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new project, and I'm going to choose the Visual C# Windows Forms application. I'm just going to name it Web Browser, and then I'll click OK. Now here is my form here. I'm going to go ahead and choose my properties and click on the form, and I'm going to change the name to Web Browser, and if I spell it correctly it will actually be much better, in Visual C#, and there's our name right here. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Let me make this a little bit smaller, at least for now, and then I'm going to come over to my toolbox and pin it open. Now if you don't have the toolbox, if your toolbox is closed, just go ahead and view and choose toolbox, and then what we want to do is we want to put all of our controls that we're going to use onto our form, and this is our form, and then we'll close the toolbox and we'll work on the actual properties and all of the code. So first we want to do, we want to get a tool strip container and just drop it here, and then we're going to choose this doc fill in form, and then we're going to come over here and grab a tool strip and drop it up here in the top part of the tool strip container, and then we'll come up here and grab a web browser and drop it in the bottom part, and you can see that it fills up the bottom part. So that's all the things we need from the toolbox, so we can minimize that one. Let's open this properties window a little better, and first thing we want to do, we have our web browser clicked here. You can see that it's chosen here. So we're just going to name this web box, just so it's easier for us to type in code. And then we're going to come up here to our tool strip, and we'll go ahead and open this little pop-out menu here, and we're going to do System, and we're going to do Hidden. That way we get rid of that little grabber bar that always ends up on the left-hand side of it. Let's just hide it because we don't actually need that one. So now that we've done that, we'll go ahead and we're going to get a couple buttons here, and we'll get a combo box, and then we'll get a couple more buttons. So now we have two buttons, a combo box, and let's go ahead and change the name of that one now, and we'll just do Web Combo. That way we can it's easier to access it in code. And we're going to change the size of this. Let's see how big we can make this. So this size is 847 width. So let's go ahead and make this one say 500. That way we have plenty of space to type in our address in the combo box. So let's check the first box here, and we're going to come up here and we're going to name that BTN Back. And then we'll check the next one, and we're going to name that one BTN Next. And we'll choose this button here, and we're going to name that one BTN Go. And this final one we're going to name BTN Stop. So now we have our four buttons, and then you can see that they all have the generic picture icon on it. So let's go ahead and change that one also. So we're going to come down and we're going to choose the image. Now Visual Studio comes with a bunch of images in the VS 2010 image library. If you search for VS 2010 image library.zip on your C drive, you should find it in the folder for Visual Studio. If not, you can search online and it will tell you exactly where the file is. But we're going to use some of these images from here for our toolbar. And what we're going to choose, we're going to get our next I'll hold down the control key and click previous. And then I'll come down here and we're going to do hold down the control and choose play. And also hold down the control key and choose stop. So I have stop, go to next, go to previous, and play chosen as the file name, and just click open. Now this one we know is our back button, so that's the go to previous. And you can see that it has a magenta background. But when I click OK, because our transparent color is magenta, it automatically makes that magenta clear. So let's go to the next button. And this one, we want to have it as the next. And we'll just click OK. This one is our go button. So I'll go ahead and choose play on that one. And this final one is our stop button. So I'll go ahead and click stop on that one. So now we have back, forward, go, and stop. So let me go ahead. I'm just going to double click here on this arrow. And then I'll double click on this arrow. Then I'll double click on this arrow. And then I'll double click on this arrow. So now we have 4 subroutines for each of the clicks here, for each of these buttons on here. And what we're going to do, first we're going to go to the back button. So we'll click up here in the back, and we're going to choose our web box. Now all I have to do is type web, and web box is highlighted here, so I can just hit the period key, the dot, and it will fill in the rest of that value. And this is the back key, button back. So we have go back, and then we have our 2 parentheses, because we don't have anything in there to pass to the go back method. So we're just going to have empty parentheses, and then of course we end our statement with a semicolon. So that's all we actually need for the back button. And for this one, go forward. And again, that's all we need for the go forward. I'm going to skip over this for now. Let's go down to the stop. And that's all we need to stop. So if it's taking too long to load a page, we just hit stop, and it will stop loading. And then finally, this is the one that has the most code in it. And what we want to do, first we want to make sure that there's actually something in the combo box before we try to navigate to it. So we're going to use a standard if statement, and we have not. And what we want to do is what we'll do is if web combo is nothing, we want to make sure it's not nothing. Then what we'll do, I'll hit enter, and I'll add our 2 braces there. And if there's actually something in that box, it's going to run the code that's in here. And what we want to do, first we want to navigate. And we're going to pass it this value here. And we'll add our semicolon at the end. And now what we want to do is, after we've navigated, we want to add that address to the combo box, so if they want to go back there, they can just select it from the combo box automatically. So we'll go items dot add, and we're going to add the web combo dot text. Now we want to make sure that we don't have like 5,000 items in our web combo box. So what we're going to do, we're going to check and see if our web combo dot items dot count is greater than, say, 20. What we'll do is we're going to remove the very first one. So as we add them in, if we get more than 20, we'll just start dropping off the previous values. That way we'll never have more than 20 in the box, and we don't have a combo box that runs way down off of the screen. So let's go ahead and save this. That's our web browser. And now it's ready to run. So we'll go ahead and here's our web browser, and let's put in an address. So we'll go ahead and click go. And let me expand this full screen so you can see that it fills the full screen. And there's our Microsoft.com. And let me put in my website, and you will see that it's just like Internet Explorer. Since in Internet Explorer I'm logged into my WordPress account for my photography website, I'm logged in here also. And you can see it's just like a regular web browser. Now let me try one more. And let's go to Google.com. We'll hit go. So you can see how easy it is to go around, but we also have our combo box here where we have our previous values. Now we want to make sure that it's not going to go over 20. So let me go ahead and choose this one. I'm just going to hit this a whole bunch of times. You can see it adds it on. And then we'll hit my site a whole bunch of times. And you can see it adds that at the end. And then let's just keep hitting Google until we have 20. You can see there's 20 values. It's not going to go over 20 values. So there's our web browser in Visual C#. You can see it's a very simple project, something really quick you can put out, and you can add to it if you want to. Hopefully we'll see you in the class for Visual C# programming on Educator.com. It should be up real soon. I want to thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll see you soon.